Hey students, happy Wednesday. I hope you're super excited and pumped for your social studies lesson for today. So I read some of your discussion boards from Monday and I saw some awesome feedback. And some of y'all even challenged yourself to complete my bonus question of what are some goods and services that are found in your home. Some of y'all said, oh, my mom's doing a lot of online shopping lately, and so she's bought some clothes and we bought some new shoes and awesome stuff. Okay, so I was thinking about that idea of the goods, the stuff that I'm buying. And so sure enough, Miss Rockwell went shopping again. Some of the goods she bought was some bread, and I got some Pringles. I got an onion to help with some cooking, and then I bought some hash brown potatoes. Okay, now when I bought these hash brown potatoes, I stopped and thought more on specifically this good and how it became hash browns. And I thought about, I had to rely on someone to make these hash browns for me because I could have made them myself, but I went and bought them from the freezer section. So I thought about hash browns are not just hash browns, they're actually potatoes. And so I'm like, oh, in order to make these hash browns, they came from a factory that came from a potato, which a potato is found in a farm, okay? So if we go all the way back and think about a potato, in order for us to have hash browns, it had to go through a really long process before I finally got it in my freezer, okay? So this potato started out on a farm. It started out with a farmer planting the seed in the ground and watering it, and then, letting it grow over a couple months and, digging it up and washing it off and then putting it in a box, and then the box goes on a big truck, and then the truck takes to the grocery store or sometimes to a factory to be made into hash browns, okay? And so what that idea is this potato was made through what is called a producer. A producer, let me write that down, is someone who makes the goods. Okay, so that relates exactly to what we learned on Monday. So that's what we're going to learn today is the idea of what producers and consumers really are. Okay, so I learned that a producer is someone that made my good that can eventually be turned into French fries or hash browns or mashed potatoes. But then I thought about, okay, well, how do I play a role in this? How do I play a role in this economy? I'm not the producer. I'm not the one making the goods, but I am the one buying the goods. So I am classified as a consumer. A consumer is someone that buys goods. Okay? So again, we learned that I'm buying goods, but I'm more specifically called a consumer. Okay? So what you're going to do today is you are going to read Social Studies Weekly, week 31, and you are going to dive right in to think more in depth about that idea of producers and consumers. So what I want you to do is, not only do I want you to read the article, the whole article, but I also want you to see, okay, where am I finding examples of producers and where am I finding examples of consumers? Okay, so what I want you to do is pause the video and go ahead and log on to Social Studies Weekly, week 31, okay? All right, so now that you've dove right in, I want you to think to yourself, what in the article was an example of a producer? Somebody that makes the goods, okay? It could even be an example of a service that we talked about on Monday, okay? So let me think, who is making some goods, okay? Well, that could be a baker. They're making cakes and cupcakes that we're buying, okay? A lot of times it's farmers, okay? Not just potatoes, but they grew the onion that I bought. Let's think, who else? Okay, I remember in the article, it talked about orange juice, okay? So not only did I get to purchase this at the grocery store, but in order to get to this orange juice, it went through a really long cycle. Okay, so that's what we are going to talk about next is not only are we going to become experts on the ideas of producers and consumers, but we're learning that they connect, that our economy goes through a cycle. Okay, so in order for me to get this orange juice, it I had to not only buy it, but a producer had to make it. Okay, so but what if my producer, what if they didn't have the oranges? What if they didn't plant the trees? So I'm relying on the producers to plant the trees, to grow the oranges, and then the factories are relying on those farmers to then box up the produce and send it to their factory for them to then turn it into orange juice. Okay? So not only am I relying on the producer, but the producers are relying on me to buy their goods because they don't want to waste all their time planting these trees and taking their time and putting them in boxes and sending them off, and nobody's buying their goods. Okay, so in order for a producer to make something, to make the good, we have to buy the good. Okay, so that is what's called interdependent. We depend on each other. We depend on someone to make the potatoes, and they depend on us to buy them. Okay, so again, that's called interdependent, and our economy is in a cycle. Okay, so we depend on each other. It's kind of like right now while y'all are in your homes, y'all are going outside and y'all are just kind of looking at your neighborhood. You're like, oh, I see the sidewalks. Someone made those sidewalks in order for me to be able to ride my bike on. Oh, someone had to make the bus in order for me to ride on the bus. I depended on that mechanic to make the bus for me to ride on. Okay, so again, today we are learning about producers and consumers and how our economy is in a never-ending cycle of interdependence. Okay, so what I want you to do today is I want you to reread that Article 31. Okay, and I want you again to see if you can become an expert on just knowing the difference between producer, someone that makes the goods, and consumer, the person that I'm consuming. It kind of sounds like I'm eating it. I'm taking it in, okay? And the idea that they go together to be interdependent, okay? So once you are finished, I want you to show me all of your learning and show me you're an expert on this stuff. By at the bottom of page 3, I want you to answer your think and review questions, okay? You're not going to answer all of them, just the ones that I posted on the discussion board. Okay, please make sure that your answers are in complete sentences so I am positive that I know exactly what you're answering, okay? And make sure you're referring back to your article for your answers, okay? Because I'm positive that y'all are going to show me some awesome answers, okay? And if you're unsure of something, again, you can rewatch this video. I can definitely show you about oranges and potatoes again, or you can reach out to your teacher for help, all right? I want to see some awesome answers today. All right, have a great day.